Okay, so I wanted to show you what I do for the minutes. Again, you can do whatever you want, and other systems might be way more efficient than this. I just wanted to show you what I was doing. So anyway, I just take the same agenda, change it to minutes, and I'll usually cross out people who weren't there, but so their names can still be read, so it shows that person was absent, but they're still part of the committee. So then I usually take minutes while I'm in there, whether written or I bring my laptop and just type them directly in here. And I still try to show color coding because these minutes are going to go to a bunch of people at the college, and they're going to look through and say, okay, these deletes are approved, so I know I can take them out of the catalog. And so like Beth will do this, or Connie Meese will sometimes do this. I'm not quite clear like where their jobs delineate or separate or whatever the case may be. So anyway, this just helps them to kind of review all the stuff that happened. And so usually after the meeting, I'll do this directly after the meeting and then send it out and tell them before we post it, look over these. Are there any changes that need to be made? Let me know by Friday. So once this has been approved and everybody's fine with it, I'll send it to Terry Eads so she can post on the portal, and make sure that you at least copy the VP of instruction or whatever on that email so they know it's up there. I usually ask Terry too to respond to me and let me know when it's up so that I can make sure that it's kind of checked off of my to-do list. So that's kind of what the minutes look like for me. But in addition to all this, sorry about those little chimes, it's my email. So in addition to all of this, I usually have to go back through, and I'm going to get rid of my filter, and we're going to go a couple months back. And as you can see, I will say when it's been approved, and it was approved at our October 16th meeting. And then I will put notes about things that maybe happened or a question we had, because I can't remember these kind of things. And if somebody asks me a year from now what happened with this title change, I need to be able to put notes in there. So just a forewarning that it's good if you do that. And then this is probably Beth. You can see BC. Beth will log in with the curriculum admin account, and when she's ready to make these changes in the catalog or anything of that nature, like if a program we add here has to go up to the state for approval, and then Kathy will find out when it gets approved, and then Kathy tells Beth, and then Beth actually puts it in the catalog when it's been approved. So like right now, our computer science certificate of 16 credits is still at the state for approval, the last I heard. So we can't, even though it's in our system and it's been in our system since like October or September, it's not actually in our catalog until it's been approved by the state. When it is, usually when Beth comes in here to get the information and make sure she puts it in the catalog, she will put a note in here saying, you know, what has happened with that. So this one, where it's a, let's see, change a course, she hasn't put any note here about that one yet. So updated course description and added GT's designation. So she did all this on November 28th. So she might be a little bit behind, but that's because these classes didn't need to change. They just needed to be ready for spring. So as long as you check maybe like in May or June, I'll usually go through these and figure out what items don't have a comment from her or a comment from me, and just make sure we clean all of that kind of stuff up. So for me, let's go to the stuff that we had for November. So for me, we had all this stuff that came in for our November. This was approved. This is approved. So these are just the things that I put in here. So this was submitted for our November meeting, and you can see I didn't put any comments in here. So I'll come back through and look at my November minutes. And I usually do this right after the meeting if I can, so that I don't lose it. But in this one, we put these 3 radiologic technology courses on hold because she was going to change the course credit hours to more evenly divide them up between semesters, and we found out that that would affect financial aid for the last semester, which really hurts our students. So she kind of put these on hold until she knew what she wanted to do. So in this instance, I'll come back through and I will hit edit, and I'll say, okay, at our November 20th meeting, and it's easier to do this on that day because then it automatically selects the day, and it's awesome. So tabled, and usually what I'll do is I'll either copy this or I'll just say something like, Susie found out in the meeting that if she changes the hours in this and other RTE courses that the last semester would result in only 11 credit hours for students, which would affect financial. She is going to go back and figure out another plan. This is on hold for now. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this because it's for all 3 of these courses. So I'll scroll all the way down to the bottom and hit save changes. So this is now going to be in our course, and sometimes it gets weird and loose like this, but now I can go back through and say, why was this put on hold? Did we put it on hold or did she put it on hold? So I'm going to do the same thing for all of these particular courses. This one, she decided that she didn't actually need the course, but I like to keep it in there because it was fully completed, and I want to know, if she came back and said, why wasn't this course added in? I put it in November and we talked about it. I want to be able to say, well, remember you were going to make this course and that's why we didn't actually do this. So, just to keep those notes to help everybody else out at a later date. So make sure you do that after every meeting, and they don't have to be long notes if you don't need them to be, and if you seem to remember things way better than I usually do. So, but I just realized after many years of doing this that just being pretty as transparent as I could be is going to be the best for everybody, and hopefully you can look back through all of the submissions that we've done and kind of see what's happened with each one of those because of all those notes. So anyway, that's what I do at the end of the meeting is I just wrap everything up with minutes, and I wrap everything up in the Wufoo form so that we know we can track and close that loop.